And that, good sirs, is the reason that babies should be equal to elders.
Smashing performance.
Agreed.
What a fascinating topic.
I actually heard of a similar problem going on at a local high school. Apparently, some students are less than happy with the current open campus rules.
Oh yeah, I have a copy of the rule right here in my back pocket.
How convenient!
These are the current rules of the school on the subject of open campus. Freshmen, no open campus privileges. All freshmen are required to remain in study hall for the entire school year. No freshman is permitted to leave campus during the school day unless they have an approved early dismissal. Sophomores may leave campus only at the beginning of the last period of the day, provided that the time is unassigned. Juniors may leave campus during the student's scheduled lunch period. Juniors may leave campus at the beginning of the last period of the day, provided that the time is unassigned. Seniors may leave campus during the student's scheduled lunch period. Seniors may leave campus any time class is unassigned.
I propose that it is immoral to not allow the same privileges to all the students attending Radnor High School. All the students here are capable of reason and should be trusted with the responsibilities of open campus. They should be allowed to govern themselves in order to obtain true freedom.
I do not disagree with your point, Kant, but I believe you are perceiving the issue the wrong way. All grades in this school should be granted open campus privileges, but not because all humans are capable of reason. By only allowing the seniors open campus privileges, we are preventing overall happiness. There are 4 grades in this school, and in order to have happiness in the majority, it is required that we give the same privileges and allow the same grades the same freedom.
But you both are forgetting one thing. By attending the school, the students accepted the rule in the handbook. It's simple, really. Since the students are using the benefits of that school offers, they must also follow the rules that the school offers.
It is a governmental law that forces students to attend school, already limiting their decisions and freedoms. It was not a decision to attend the school, it was forced upon them. The rules of the school are only just if the public would agree to them as a whole.
Yes, that is an unfortunate truth. But since you live in this country, you are agreeing to its laws. Since you seem so intent on changing this blasted rule, I'll say this. If we had to change the rules, I believe that students should have to work to acquire the open campus privilege, regardless of their age and grade. Only the most capable shall be able to leave the school unattended at designated times. Kant, complete freedom of self seems like a grand idea indeed, but in reality would result in chaos coming from those who cannot handle such power. And Bentham, not everyone within the school is equal, even though everyone would benefit from this privilege. Each student must be measured by a certain scale to determine if they can be trusted with that freedom.
Locke, while your argument is valid, who is determining how capable these students are, and is this person worthy of this duty? It is ethical that students shall have to work to earn the privilege. However, it is not ethical to make the underclassmen earn the privilege when the seniors are granted it freely. How is this maximizing happiness? If we are requesting certain grades to work but not others, we would be disrespecting the natural rights of humans.
You misunderstood my point, Bentham. I'm not saying that only the lower classmen should have to be tested for open campus privilege, rather that all students should have to. And what do you care of natural rights? As long as the majority is satisfied, you think you've done your job.
Why should it be something to be proved? Why do you have such a distrust in humans? By enforcing this rule on the students, you are completely putting restraint on their freedom, which is not logical and defies our rights as humans. It is true that if someone misuses this right, it can be taken away, but there is no reason to assume them unable.
I do agree that every human is indeed capable of reason, but not every human is capable of the same level of reason. While some may be reasonable in some areas, some may be completely radical and ridiculous in others. We need to be able to measure the amount of reasonableness that each person possesses so that we can decide who deserves certain privileges.
By putting restrictions on those who deserve certain privileges, as you stated earlier, Kant, we are preventing ourselves from maximizing happiness. Locke, by allowing different grades, different privileges, we are defying human rights. For example, Kathy is a woman who has just recently joined a bank, Tocqueville Incorporated. She gets minimal credit and few benefits since she is a new member. But Steve, a Tocqueville member for 4+ years, gets many extra features and benefits, even though his credit record is abhorrent. Is this morally acceptable? Look at Kathy, the new bank member, as a freshman. She has restricted privileges and rights because she is younger or new to the bank. Steve, the long-term bank member, could be seen as a senior. He receives more benefits and privileges because he is older or has been a member of the bank for a longer period of time.
In this hypothetical, Kathy is of more qualification of the privileges given by the bank than the man. Steve has shown that he cannot handle the responsibility of his freedom, and therefore some of Steve's freedom should be taken away. On the other hand, Kathy has shown that she is capable of handling the responsibility so far.
Exactly. The woman has not abused the trust of the bank yet, so she should be given the chance to have more freedoms. But if she later does wrong in the name of the bank, her freedom shall be taken away. Why is this any different from giving lowerclassmen a chance to possess privileges normally reserved for upperclassmen?
Why should we give these privileges to everyone if they are just going to abuse them later? Upperclassmen, and Steve in this example, are given these privileges because they have more experience and therefore are more mature. If we were to give them to underclassmen, or Kathy, they would be receiving them prematurely without the necessary experience to use them wisely. If everyone receives the same privileges at the same age, everyone would have to wait the same amount of time and it would be fair.
It is irrational to assume someone's maturity is lower than another purely based on their age. There are a lot of factors that can affect someone's maturity, such as upbringings, peers, and current environment.
I agree completely. What we need is a scale to judge who is able to handle this open campus privilege.
Yes, but a scale not based on age.
Both of your arguments are flawed. How is using a scale moral? Kant, as you stated previously, you cannot judge one's maturity on one aspect because many factors affect it. If you base maturity on the results of a test, the results will not be completely accurate. It is impossible to measure something that is not tangible. Imagine that one person, Johnny, is loved by two people, Sarah and Julia. Johnny is forced to decide who loves him more. It is impossible to measure the intensity of love on a scale because you cannot see it and therefore cannot compare it to anything else. The same goes for maturity. You cannot rate this on a scale because it varies so much for each individual that comparing it is not rational.
But that is where you're incorrect once again. You can measure one's maturity, since it has a physical manifestation in our actions. If we identify which characteristics are distinctly associated with maturity, then we can accurately measure this within a person.
Consider this hypothetical. If you were a soccer coach and you were choosing your players to go into a game, and you were intent on winning, you would not choose the eldest players, you would choose the most useful players on the field. Even though the oldest players might have had the experience, the younger players possess the correct abilities to succeed. This is the same with the freedoms of the school. If you think it is irresponsible to grant everyone the privilege of open campus, then you should choose the people who will most likely be able to handle the responsibility.
I concur. The older players, although more experienced, simply aren't as talented as the younger players. This is simply the way that nature works. Just by way of chance, some people are naturally better at certain activities than others. The sooner you accept that fact, Bentham, the sooner we can resolve this silly dispute.
I disagree with both of you, as it seems I always do. If only the most capable students are given the privileges, we are not maximizing happiness. As I've mentioned before, maximizing happiness should be our main goal, and allowing only some students to have open campus is not helping us reach this. I am through trying to convince you closed-minded fools to adopt the correct opinion, so I will be leaving now.
Well, I can't say I'm sorry to see him go. Want to discuss this more over a cup of tea?